And even when Nathan was born, and my folks came down,
Grandpa told me.
there's a picture where Grandpa's holding you. I'm sure you don't remember, but he told you your first 3 little pig story.
Yeah.
So
I've heard the stories about the 3 little pig story.
So anyway, Denise is going to narrate this, and we're going to reenact the 3 little pig story.
Oh, this is great.
As best we can, but this is an authentic Grandpa Bear 3 little pig story.
Keep in mind, we are very
We're
professional.
pretty rough.
So, the 3 little pigs, according to Grandpa B. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs named Pete, Sam, and Herman.
Huzzah!
They lived on a farm with a lot of other little pigs, but these 3 were a bit different. They got tired of doing the same stuff every day, and Pete and Sam decided they were going to run away and find some other place to live that would be more interesting and exciting. Pete and Sam weren't among the smartest pigs on the farm, and they didn't stop to think where they might go that would be more fun. And they didn't consider that although their new place might be fun and exciting, it might just be a little risky and not quite as safe as where they live now. Herman was by far the smartest and most sensible of the 3. And when they told him they wanted to go live in a small forest about a mile from their farm, he tried to tell them they had no idea what sort of dangers they might chance upon or encounter.
Now you fools who are scrounging around in the mud, you have no idea what you're getting into! Me with my superior intellect know this, and you are going to die.
But the 2 knuckle-headed dum-dums wouldn't listen to Herman and said that they were leaving. Herman didn't want to go, but he knew his 2 foolish brothers wouldn't be able to get along without him, so all 3 of them left the farm to live in the forest. The first thing Herman suggested was that each one build a house because there was no shelter in the forest for them. As to be expected, Pete and Sam weren't at all concerned as to what kind of house they were going to build, as long as it had a roof and some sides. So Pete met a guy with some straw and built himself a house of straw. Really a pretty nice house.
Oh, that's straw?
But not the kind he would need when it got cold and the wind started to blow, but that didn't bother Pete. He didn't care. He would worry about that later. Now Sam met a guy that had a bunch of sticks and other pieces of wood and built himself a house of wood and sticks. Now this one was a little bit stronger and nicer than Pete's, but still not good enough to stand a real strong wind. Herman told each one of them that the houses they built wouldn't last through the winter, and they didn't care, and in just a day or 2 they had their houses built and they went farther into the forest to play. Herman, in the meantime, found a man with some bricks, and he built himself a real strong, warm, and comfortable house. Now Pete and Sam spent very little time building their houses. All they were concerned about was something to keep the rain and snow off, the wind out, and they made fun of Herman for working so hard, even though he kept warning them winter was coming. One day when Pete and Sam and Herman took a walk in the woods, who should show up but the big bad wolf? All of the 3 of the pigs ran as fast as they could to their houses, and they just got in the door, a jump ahead of the wolf. They all felt very safe in their new houses. The wolf stopped at Pete's house first. The wolf said to Pete, let me in, or I'll blow your house down." Pete said,
I'm not that dumb, go ahead and blow.
and that's just what the wolf did. She blew the whole house away, leaving Pete in the middle holding onto the piano so he wouldn't get blown away. He ran as fast as he could to Sam's house before the wolf could get there. Sam said,
"Don't worry, Pete. This wooden house of mine will keep us safe. That dumb wolf won't have enough wind to blow it down."
but the wolf took 3 deep breaths, and Sam's house went flying in all directions, and Sam and Pete were holding on to each other to keep from being blown into the next county. Fortunately for them, the wolf was out of breath, so they had time to escape into Herman's brick house.
Come on then!
Now all 3 pigs were in Herman's brick house. For the time being they were safe, but something had to be done to get rid of the wolf. Pete and Sam were really scared, but Herman had a plan. Herman was real disappointed with Pete and Sam. He was tempted to remind them how dumb they acted, but that isn't being very nice. Pete and Sam realized the mistakes they made, and it isn't polite to remind a person that he or she did something stupid, even if it is your own brother and sister. While Pete and Sam were trying to get over their fear, they noticed that Herman was no longer in the house, but they knew he was up to something. They had to believe in Herman. Outside, the wolf was still howling and growling and beating on the door. But he was getting tired, so he sat down and he kind of dozed off a bit. He had no intention of letting the pig escape, but he had to think what his next move would be. Someone then sneaked up behind him and tapped him on the shoulder.
I forgot my prop.
He turned around, and what do you think he saw? It was Super Pig. Super Pig picked up the wolf by the tail, swung him around and around his head a couple of times, and threw him clear into the next county.
County!
Yeah, it was always the county.
Yeah. Pete and Sam couldn't believe what they saw until Superman took off his mask. You guessed it, it wasn't really Superman, it was Super Pig Herman.
That's
Superman
right.
costume. With Herman's help and guidance, Pete and Sam built brick houses, and they all lived happily ever after.
Oh, very good.
But my German one was my favorite one. It was Der Neugierige by Schubert. Ich frage keine Blume, ich frage keine Stern, sie kann mir alle nicht sagen, was ich erfüll sogen. Ich bin ja auch kein Gärtner, die Sterne stehen so hoch. Mein Bächlein will ich fragen, ob mich mein Herz belog. O Bächlein, meine Liebe, wie bist du wunderlich, will's ja nicht weiter sagen. Sag, Bächlein, liebt sie mich? Sag, Bächlein, liebt sie mich? Ja, heißt das eine Wörtchen, das andere heißt es nein. Die beiden Wörtchen schließen die ganze Welt mir ein. Die beiden Wörtchen schließen die ganze Welt mir ein. O Bächlein, meine Liebe, wie bist du wunderlich, will's ja nicht weiter sagen. Sag, Bächlein, liebt sie mich? Sag, Bächlein, liebt sie mich? Danke. I love to do different people's accents. McDonald's drive-thru. And yeah, I'll have what's the most American thing you got? Oh my gosh, are you British? Because you talk to a German person, they are very. Oh ja, I was walking through the forest the other day and I saw Panzer and Gretel. They were right there eating the candy. They was walking around, ah mate, I love your shirt. What'd you say about my shirt? You don't like it? You don't like it? What are you going to do about it, huh? Hey? You're not going to do nothing, right? Oh yes, this table is so exquisite. Yes, it's very, very small, it's very highfalutin and very annoying, really. Around and it's look at the cheese. It's very, very okay. Look at kielbasa, sausage. Look at the kielbasa. It's very. What's the word? Meh. There. So did you hear about Cletus the other day? He got his toe bit off by a snapping turtle. And you know, Извините, пожалуйста, which means excuse me, please, in Russian. And they moved out of the way faster than Moses parted the Red Sea. Orale! Hello, how are you today? I'm good. Where am I calling? Oh, you are calling India. Am I? Yes, sir. You are. How may I help you, fix your computer today? I have the blue screen of death. Oh yes, many people are calling in about that today. Have you updated your software? Yes. Is your computer on? It has a blue screen. It's on. Okay, let me patch you through to my manager. Hello? Where am I calling? Oh, you're calling India again. Is where in India? You do not need to know. We are all friends here. There's something wrong with this language. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna do some things that you're not gonna like, but I don't care.
Right.
We are all one people here, and we all love each other. It is very good. Thank you.
You're all right. Let's get your weight.
Yeah, the Helen polka followed by the Pennsylvania polka followed by the beer barrel polka. So, anyway. But then he would rip through. We wouldn't even stop for a breath. And of course, you don't have to do that when you're doing playing the organ. So. So now we got them both here, so I'm going to do my one little Irish song. Okay? Now you take all the girls in Ireland and put them all together. The one I love would beat them all in any kind of weather. She doesn't take the powder off because she doesn't wear it. Her face and figure are her own, they're super, I declare it. She's a fine, big, strong love of an agricultural Irish girl. Doesn't paint nor powder cause her figure is all her own. But she can hit that hard, oh, you'd swear 'twas a kick of the mule you got. A bull in your arms of Irish love, Marianne Malone. Has no education, hardly passed her letters, but for what befits a lady, my friend, you'll never find her betters. Doesn't read no novels, no write no fancy papers, but whenever there's a row about she's writing there be japers. And she's a fine, big, strong love of an agricultural Irish girl. Doesn't paint or powder cause her figure is all her own, but you can hit that hard, sure you'd swear she's a kick of a mule you got. A bull in your arms of Irish love, Marianne Malone.
Well, you laughed when you took all my money. You laughed and called me old Santa Claus. Well, I'm telling you, baby, I'm through with you just because. My favorite Christmas song. But it's hard. And then you're comparing yourself to Nat King Cole, and you just can't keep up. So we just kept it down to any time. But he used to play Mona Lisa all the time.
for Mona Baretich. Yep.
So would he do this at the end of the day, kind of unwind? Is that what he would do, or was it after dinner?
Oh, yeah. Even later on when he had one hand that was bent this way, his fingers with arthritis and rheumatism, and he got goofy towards the end and everything, but he'd sit down at the either the organ or the piano, and
He could still.
He could do it.
He
He'd
would
take
still
the
do everything
big
on
fat
his
rubber bands that you got on broccoli, and he'd tape his, and rubber band his fingers together so he could play.
Yeah, one of those kind of
he didn't have really big hands anyhow, and so the stretches of the octaves must have been hard at different times, but he got him to bend that way before, and big fat fingers, and that's why he couldn't play anything too small, because his fingers wouldn't fit in it. But when he sat down at a keyboard, he was pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I remember the last time I played with him at Indigo Grove, and by that time, Alzheimer's had set in, and he couldn't play very much, and he was just about down to the Notre Dame fight song. And but what was interesting about that was, and he could barely play. He only had a couple fingers. He could do the melody and things, and so this guy who didn't always remember who you were, the typical way we'd play, he'd always kind of go through the first time, and then I'd play the second time, and then third time you'd kind of go back and forth, kind of like we did in Anytime just now. But he played the melody, and then I came in for the second time through, and he immediately dropped back to accompaniment. So the unique thing about that is the guy, there wasn't much going on, but the old Bill Baretich was still in there and still knew his music and could play it. So that was special. Well,